Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff from the Cyber Pro podcast, back with another episode where industry leaders share their insights. It's 5 questions in 9 minutes because hackers never sleep. So let's jump in. Chuck, good morning. Please tell us in a few sentences a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Great. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. I'm Chuck Brooks, and I really do 3 major things now at this point in my life. One, I have my own consulting firm called Brooks Consulting International, which consults on cybersecurity and security issues. Second, I teach at Georgetown University 2 courses, 2 programs rather, graduate courses in cybersecurity risk management and applied intelligence. And I designed my own course called Disruptive Technologies in Organizational Management. And the third thing to do is I thought leadership. I like to write. I'm a Forbes contributor on emerging tech and cybersecurity. Visiting editor of Homeland Security Today, and I write blogs often for a lot of companies.
Wonderful. You know, you've covered a number of varied grounds. So my question number 2 is going to be a little bit different. You know, between the 3 things that you primarily do, which one do you enjoy the most? And what's the most fascinating aspect about that?
You know, I have to say teaching is the most satisfying because you're conveying your knowledge and experience to others who are going to be the future leaders, hopefully, and also their inquisitive minds. And part of the courses that I teach, you know, since I was able to design it and create it, I've really geared it to different things in emerging tech and how its implications will change society. So I'm getting these perspectives from my students that are not only illuminating to the class, illuminating to me. So it's really fulfilling for me to teach.
Yeah, you mentioned a great word, illuminating. I think that a lot of the students that we have in our businesses, as well as for your case in your class, they're the younger generation. So they're going to see things in a different light, from a different perspective, and a different viewpoint going forward than we folks with a little more experience are able to see. That our runway might be a little shorter and theirs is definitely wider and longer. So that's a very interesting perspective. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Question number 3, we've heard from all of the industry leaders that we've spoken with that cybersecurity is not only a top concern these days, but honestly, only getting larger. When you hear a statement like that, what does that mean to you?
It means that people are finally waking up to the reality that we live in a connected world. I think COVID-19 obviously accelerated that, and people said, "Oh, we're working at, instead of 1 office, we're working in 1,000 offices when we're all working out of our house." But now I think people realize that the implications, that it's not it's not someone else's problem; it's their problem. It's a problem in a company if it goes under. It's a problem if you don't have fuel, like what happened with Colonial Pipeline for the East Coast recently. So, you know, everything is connected, and it's going to get, it's going to exponentially bigger when there's going to be 3 times as many devices as there are people on the planet in the next 2 years. And it's a pro and con. We're going to be very dependent, very vulnerable, and we'll have more efficiencies and more capabilities to do things and communicate and build things. But, you know, we're at a tremendous security risk.
Yeah, security risk. You got me when you said that in the coming years, there's going to be about 3 times more devices on the face of the earth. That's a compelling number, and a good flow through to question number 4. What insights or advice about the future of cybersecurity is now would you like to share with our community?
Yeah, I think we have to look back. I mean, we created the internet for communication purposes. It had no security built in. And now everything we do, whether it's our banking online, whether we're buying health products, whether we're going to our education, most of it's on Canvas online now until we start classes again soon. We're going to have to realize that our vulnerabilities are putting us at risk. So my recommendations to people is, start with a clean slate. Look what you have to do. First of all, what's in your system. Do an inventory of everything you're connected to. Look at your passwords. Are they strong? Have great cyber hygiene. Anyone can do cyber hygiene. Don't click on obvious phishes. Make sure you have your personal and your business and your financial stuff separate. There's just a lot of easy things we could do. We don't all have to be super cybersecurity heroes, but we can be adhere to the basics and understand that, everyone is a target. A lot of it now is automated, so you better be prepared that you're going to get phish, you're going to get something, you're going to get your identity stolen at some point. So be ready for it.
Excellent. I'm going to go back to a bonus question after we end, but you touched on something very interesting that I think hopefully you would have a good viewpoint on, which is the types of common cybersecurity hacks. So I'm going to go back to that. But before we get there, our final question, our fun question, tell us a little bit about your favorite piece of retro technology, which makes you smile.
Well, interesting. I'm still using it. It's a retro technology. It's really a retro program. I had AOL when it was first started, and I couldn't give it up. If my wife says, that's outdated, and crazy, why are you, using that? And I found that a couple former CIA directors were still using it, and I use it because it's basically stores everything I've done in 20 years ago in my in columns. And I use other obviously other programs too and other email services, but I can't give it up. It's sort of just a bad habit and posterity.
Well, I'm sure the former executives of AOL retention would love to hear from you.
Yes, I hear. I mean, Yahoo had it, and I think it was just bought by Providence or one of the equity groups. So we'll see if it has a resurrection. At least people have tried. It hasn't happened. But I still remember the dial-up and the connection.
Well, yeah. Oh, we can't forget that connection sound. So let's get back to that bonus question. But before I do, I just want to wrap this portion up of the Cyber Pro podcast. I wanted to say thank you for Chuck for taking the time today to come online and chat with us and share with us a little bit about his background and his thoughts. As you guys know, we post 3 to 4 episodes every week. So please come back and take a look at more of our podcasts on our YouTube channel as well as here on LinkedIn. Thank you very much.